So my situation was slightly different just because my job paid a little bit better, and I had a decently sized lump sum of money for my parents to invest in.
Better than what? So how much are you getting paid?
I was getting paid about $70K a year.
Okay, $70K. So you're making $70K, and how old were you?
25.
25. Okay.
I had no money saved up. I was not a saver at this point. I just got out of college, and so my first time ever having money, so I just spent everything.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents, I had a college fund of about $20K. My parents let me use to buy a property. However, I did not know about house hacking.
And you got to use that because you got a scholarship.
I got to use that because I got a full ride scholarship.
You got a full ride scholarship to Ohio State for
chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering. Okay, cool. So they allocated college money. You didn't use it because you got a big brain, and you're able to allocate it for the house because. Exactly. Okay, cool.
And so I bought a property for $170, and I did a FHA owner-occupied loan because I house hacked, but I didn't do the 203K portion of it, which allows you to include renovations into the loan. And so that cost me around maybe $15,000 because I had to pay for the renovations myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so my recommendation would be to house hack. And I would, I'm not sure how much not being paid well means. Maybe if you're making $20K a year, save up for a year, save up a fourth of your income. Because I'm sure if you're a single guy, you can definitely do that. And that'll be $5,000. You can use that as a 3.5% down payment on a house hacked duplex or fourplex. And that would be $5,000. Because mine was $5,500 down on a $170,000 property.
Wow.
So yeah, you can get a $100,000 property for $3,500 down if you are going to live in the one unit and rent out the other one. And if you're not making a lot of money, even if you're not necessarily making a spread on the rent, you're still going to be paying less money than you're paying now. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the experience of real estate. Once you end up moving out and moving on to your next property, whether it's a house hack again, you can backfill your unit with a renter and start cash flowing. So that's the best thing you can do. If you have no money and or have little money and you're a single guy or have a partner that's willing to house hack. Because I know whenever we bring up house hacking on the podcast, it's always important to make sure that your significant other is in on it because you don't want to just jump into it without her or his support. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Do we know where? Is it Darius?
Darius.
Do we know where Darius lives?
I know.
Okay. You nailed it. I only have a couple additional thoughts, but they're adding to what you said, not contradicting or coming up with something revolutionary. One is if Darius lives in New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, since I lived there for 10 years, I can say that it's virtually impossible to find something like that. So Darius, you need to go to New Jersey, and then the question becomes, are you okay going to New Jersey or maybe Connecticut or upstate New York and not live in the New York City lifestyle? And you just have to do a cost-benefit analysis there. But if you're not making any money or very little money, then really, unless your family's there and you have to be there for a certain reason, then you're free to roam somewhere else, and you can probably find a job that you're making as much or more in at a different place. The second thing is that the way that your question was structured, it's obvious that you're focusing on what you don't have instead of what you do have. And it's important to recognize and give yourself credit for what you do have, your current assets. And that is that you do have access to materials to educate yourself. You do have access to a computer with an email account to send us an email and for us to answer your question. You do have access to others in your market who are successful in real estate investing. You do know the English language. You do have the ability to maintain a full-time job. So you have all of these assets, and you have more assets than liabilities if you really think about it. And it's important to go in with that mindset and not necessarily think about what you don't have, but think about what you do have and how can you leverage what you do have to get what you want to have in the future. And Theo laid out the concrete step-by-step plan for doing so. And I think a lot of people tend to shoot for the stars right out of the gate, and believe me, I don't want to be the potato chip calling the pretzel salty here, because I also have gone from single family homes to very, very large multifamily, and when most people don't do that. But I got a single family house first, and then I got another, and then I got another, and then I got another. And then I went to large multifamily stuff. And if you don't have real estate right now, then the house hacking is the best approach to take. And if for whatever reason that doesn't work, then talk to some local investors in your area. Make sure you attend the weekly or monthly real estate investing meetups. Also go volunteer somewhere. I've talked about this many times before, not just for people who are raising money, because when you volunteer and you are genuinely passionate about a cause, then you become a board member on that volunteer organization or with that volunteer organization, and then you start building relationships with other, most likely, high net worth and affluent individuals. And you do it, again, with genuine intentions because you're passionate about that cause, but then eventually you get surrounded by some high achievers. And even if you're not raising money, if you're just wanting to get started, still go volunteer, because it's going to give you the perspective and it's going to help you focus on your assets, not necessarily your liabilities of what you don't have, and really focus on what you do have. And it will reinforce the mindset that I mentioned earlier that I recommend that you have.